Did Tom Homan accept a bag of cash of $50,000 and he's corrupt to the core? It seems that some lawyers can only tell the truth by accident.
Legal, I'm looking at you.
Viva Fry, former Montreal litigator turned current Florida Rumbler in my home office, and it's been a while since I've picked a fight with Legal Eagle, and today is the day because I watched his analysis of the Tom Homan corruption scandal, and oh my goodness, it seems that Legal Eagle might have accidentally revealed the most damning thing in this entire situation.
By accident.
So this story has gone viral now. Tom Homan, allegedly corrupt, allegedly accepting a bag of $50,000 cash from the FBI, allegedly in furtherance of some quid pro quo. He would return the favor of this FBI sting in which they gave him $50,000 as a pay-to-play influence if and when he ever made it into the Trump administration, if and when Trump ever became president, because all of this allegedly occurred in 2024. And the one question that I have in all of this, has anyone actually seen the alleged video / alleged audio of Tom Homan allegedly accepting $50,000 that was allegedly given to him in a bag from the FBI undercover?
Good question, Aguado.
Well, it seems to be a question that not many of the hacks at MSM are asking, and George Stephanopoulos, the Clinton bagman or the Clinton cleanup guy, interviewing J.D. Vance, didn't much like J.D. Vance asking these very same questions. Hey, George, what video are you talking about? And George, not getting the answer he wanted from J.D. Vance, cut the interview short, apparently.
The White House border czar Tom Homan was recorded on an FBI surveillance tape in September 2024, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money or give it back? I'm asking you, did he accept the $50,000 that was caught on the surveillance tape? Did he accept that $50,000 or not?
George, I don't know what you're talking about. Did he accept $50,000 for what?
He was recorded on an audio tape in September 2024, an FBI surveillance tape, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money?
I don't know what tape you're referring to, George. I saw media reports that Tom Homan accepted a bribe. There's no evidence of that. And here's, George, why fewer and fewer people watch your program and why you're losing credibility. Because you're talking for now 5 minutes with the Vice President of the United States about this story regarding Tom Homan, a story that I've read about, but I don't even know the video that you're talking about. I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No,
Governor
George, I said that I
Pritzker's
don't.
Up next. We'll be right back.
So I approached this story with a clean slate because I didn't really know what was going on in the story. Actually, I admittedly approached this story with a degree of skepticism towards Tom Homan. I don't trust anybody in the government, really. And when accusations of corruption come up, I'm like, all right, government is inherently corrupt, so Tom Homan must have done something wrong here. Oh, what's that? Someone accepting cash as a quid pro quo. Well, it's par for the course for a day in government. So I actually started off with a bit of a notch against Tom Homan, thinking he probably might be guilty of something, I don't know. And now I am thoroughly convinced that this is, in fact, a Russiagate 3.0.
Why 3.0?
Because you had Russiagate 1.0, which was the original Russiagate. Then you had the Russiagate Fedsurrection of January 6th. And if you've learned nothing from those two situations, you probably believe everything you're being told in this story. More importantly, this could very well turn into one of those spy versus spy situations where Biden's DOJ in 2024 decides they're going to set up Homan with some harebrained scheme to offer him, give him, thrust into his lap $50,000 in a bag in the hopes of entrapping Tom Homan. And Tom Homan, who's presumably not stupid, lived through Russiagate 1.0, impeachment 1.0. The January 6th Fedsurrection is probably looking at these jackasses going, you guys think I'm really stupid. You think I'm going to let you entrap me. Here, give me the money. We're going to investigate you if and when Trump comes into power. But I'm getting ahead of myself here because many of you might not know the base facts to this story because we don't know very much. It's all anonymous sources reporting from MSNBC. That is one of the sources on which Legal Eagle relied. Here's that clip.
But back in the summer of 2024, he was still outside of the government. And that's when Homan's name came up during a counterintelligence investigation. The FBI's initial target mentioned that a payment to Homan would help contractors get government contracts. And according to MSNBC, Julian Jace Calderas, who used to work under Homan at ICE during the Obama years, allegedly helped hatch the plan. Calderas told undercover agents as far back as May of 2023 that Homan could deliver federal contracts for a price. $1 million if Trump returned to power.
So yeah, anonymous sources, nobody's seen the video, people have allegedly seen the video, we don't know if it's a video or an audio, but it's being reported in MSM that Tom Homan accepted a bag of cash and
Put the money in trust?
So although the FBI didn't start out looking at Homan, they decided to set up a sting to see if he would bite. And the FBI cameras caught Homan allegedly accepting $50,000 in a kava bag, and Homan reportedly indicated that he would arrange immigration-related government contracts in return, and that he would hold the bribe money in a trust until he joined the Trump administration.
Appreciate the insanity here. Tom Homan is not yet in the Trump administration. Trump has not yet won the election, and Biden's FBI is apparently already trying to set up Tom Homan for if and when. It almost sounds like that infamous insurance policy concocted by Peter Strzok of the FBI in 2016. But alas, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just get to the facts in a New York Times article that says this whole story has more red flags than, I don't know, something that carries a lot of red flags. From the New York Times, opinion, guest essay. I investigated corruption. The Homan affair is full of red flags. It might be full of red flags, Mr. Author with your opinion. It just might not be the red flags you think you're finding here. It might be the red flags of Gretchen Whitmer entrapment, Russiagate 2.0, Fedsurrection January 6th, setting up something so that you could justify spying on the incoming president. Because that really sounds like what they did in this case. By Mark Lee Greenblatt. Mr. Greenblatt was the Inspector General of the U.S. Department of the Interior from 2019 until 2025. The accusations are explosive. That in 2024, Tom Homan, now President Trump's border czar, met with some businessmen who handed him $50,000 stuffed into a bag from Cava, the fast casual restaurant chain. In exchange, Mr. Homan would help with government contracts if Mr. Trump were to win re-election. In reality, the quote businessmen end quote were undercover FBI agents who reportedly recorded the exchange. Note the key words in all of this. Allegations. Reportedly recorded the entire conversation, so really nobody's even heard this to know what the heck is going on in this recording, but my goodness, it's FBI agents undercover investigating Tom Homan with the aspirations of potentially investigating him under the Trump administration. Gee, that sounds a whole hell of a lot like Russiagate 2.0, Carter Page falsifying evidence so they could spy on members of Trump's administration and spy on Trump himself when he came into office. The sting operation was part of an FBI investigation into Mr. Homan that the Trump administration quietly shut down this year. Mr. Homan himself denies any illegal actions. In a hearing on Tuesday, Attorney General Pam Bondi declined to answer questions about the money and said there was no evidence of wrongdoing. Ask yourself this for the moment. Did they shut down the investigation or did they repurpose that investigation? Might they now be potentially investigating those who were allegedly investigating Tom Homan? Understand this, and we're going to get to it in a second because Legal accidentally said the quiet part out loud. They were investigating Tom Homan and decided not to charge Tom Homan. Even the New York Times had to admit this at the time because they didn't have sufficient evidence, allegedly, according to them, so they were going to continue spying on Tom Homan as he became part of and served in the Trump administration. That is nothing other than the deep state of the Biden FBI saying we're going to continue investigating Trump when he comes into power, if he comes into power, because he had yet to come into power at the time they were investigating Homan. A nice, neat little insurance policy 2.0 that they were going to sit on to potentially spy on the incoming president yet again.
Now, with this evidence, the DOJ opened a grand jury probe in the Western District of Texas in December of 2024. And according to the New York Times, DOJ leadership debated if the evidence they had on Homan was strong enough to be indicted. They decided to wait and see if Homan acted on his promises once he accepted the position in the Trump administration.
Was he accepted the position in the Trump administration?
I spent years investigating senior level corruption and misconduct at the Department of Justice. In 2019, Mr. Trump appointed me Inspector General at the Interior Department, a position I held until January, when he fired me and many of my counterparts in other departments. I am very worried that the apparent handoff is yet another star in the administration's constellation of ethics problems. Now, in his first term, Trump is often accused of having made several bad appointments, and this guy Greenblatt sounds like he might have been one of Trump's bad appointments, but he was appointed in 2019 and then served under Biden in that corrupt, weaponized DOJ, FBI, whatever, for 4 damn years. And he sounds a little salty that he was fired, probably because he is a corrupt hack, incompetent at best, and corrupt probably to boot. We've seen Elon Musk and Doge's potential conflicts of interest, Mr. Trump's meme coins that foreign business executives purchased to integrate themselves, the plane from the Qatari government given to the Trump administration, suspicious pardons. The government has answered all of these concerns with a dismissive wave of the hand. The author then goes on to highlight these suspicious red flags. Did Homan accept a bag of cash? If he didn't, why not just say it? Well, that depends on who is being investigated at this point in time, because this reeks of entrapment if it actually happened happened, even if it happened the way that it's being described by MSM, George Stephanopoulos, New York Times, MSNBC. If Homan was given a bag of cash and the FBI was doing this so that they could continue to surveil Tom Homan when he entered the Trump administration, it sounds a whole hell of a lot like entrapment for the purposes of investigating and spying on an incoming president should you happen to lose the election. And lo and behold, it would have been played exactly the way they're trying to play it right now, to paint Homan and the Trump administration as being corrupt, when in reality, this just looks exactly like what it smells like: corruption to the core from the Biden administration. And the third red flag, as per Greenblatt, the tax implications. Let's read this section of the article. The third red flag is less obvious, but no less significant: the tax implications. Believe it or not, the Internal Revenue Service requires individuals to report all income, even illegal income such as bribes. It may sound absurd, but it's the law. If Mr. Homan did in fact accept a $50,000 payment, did he report it as income on his taxes? If not, that omission could conceivably constitute tax crime, a serious federal offense in its own right. Just ask Al Capone. Did the Justice Department and FBI ever examine the potential tax violations as part of their inquiry? And if not, why not? Now, what's interesting, actually, having read this New York Times opinion piece and watched Legal Eagle's video, is how much they are virtually identical. I wonder if the person who drafted Legal Eagle's video, Legal Eagle's script, also drafted this article.
Even if that wasn't the case, and I'm skeptical, I think they eventually would have had a very strong case of bribery. Even accepting that as true, eventually they'd probably have a slam dunk case for tax fraud. Because the IRS doesn't care whether the money came from a kava bag or a payroll check. Under federal law, all income is taxable, and that includes money earned illegally. And courts have long held that bribe money, drug money, and even embezzled funds must be reported on your taxes. Just ask Al Capone, who dodged murder charges but went to prison for tax evasion. If Homan pocketed $50,000 and failed to declare it to the IRS, then that's a straightforward tax crime.
But the bottom line, even as per Legal Eagle's video, if this money was placed in trust, that might be deferred income in any event. If it was placed in trust, we might want to ask why it was placed in trust and what is going on with the investigation right now. I don't have any insider information as relates to this investigation. I just have the sneaking suspicion that at this point, the investigators have become the investigated, because this sounds like a setup like Russiagate 1.0. By the way, if you're still watching and you have yet to subscribe, I don't know what I've got to do, what insights I have to share with you in order to get you to do it. Hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, drop a comment in the comment section below. YouTube is not even recommending my own videos to my own followers, and it sure as sugar is not recommending them to the broader audience. That privilege is saved for the Legal Eagles of the world, who promote the narratives that the YouTubes of the world want to share. The solution to that, however, is Rumble and vivabarneslaw.locals.com. But bottom line, we will see where this goes. I am very, very suspicious. As details emerge, we shall get more information, which no one's going to trust, depending on whatever side of the political aisle you sit on. But yeah, when the Biden, FBI, DOJ investigates Tom Homan and then says, we're not going to bring charges now once we're in charge, we're going to continue the investigation and see if Tom Homan makes good on his promises. While in the Trump administration, that is just setting up a way to spy on the president with the FBI, with the DOJ, or with whatever activists remain in the FBI, embedded in the FBI, because the FBI is itself a blob that survives administrations, and you have to think that there are activists in there who would have loved to continue spying on Donald Trump and have a legal excuse to do it. That excuse was this undercover operation to get Tom Homan. When they didn't get him the first time, maybe if they wait a little bit and spy on Trump, they'll get him the second time. That's the video. We'll see where this goes. If you like what I do, you know what to do. Most importantly, exercise, eat healthy, sunlight, talk to people in real life, and now you know your vlog. Peace out, peeps. Booyah!